It's November 11th, the first game after Chet Holmgren was injured, and the announced starting center is Jalen Williams. And to clarify, this Jalen Williams, because Jay Will was injured. He's in the center circle, jumping the opening tip against Ivica Zubac, a 240-pound 7-footer. He doesn't win the tip this time, and he knows the first place the Clippers are going, right to Zubac in the post.
It was kind of, I don't want to say it was predictable, but like knowing that a team doesn't have a 5, like you kind of go into the game knowing that you're going to get posted up, and I was kind of ready to maybe give a hard foul or something to just kind of set the tone and let it know it won't be easy, and I think that kind of set the tone for like the rest of the game and just how we want to play as a team for, you know, the time being with no bigs.
A turnover on the first play, the Thunder clawing the ball out and turning a steal into 2 points the other way. And Dub had something to say after it too. What was that?
Nothing that can be said on camera.
It might have seemed like a tone setter, a statement that despite the circumstances, behind a remarkable adaptability, the Thunder were still ready to compete. But it also was a reminder of flexing a muscle that has been built for the last 4 years.
I think it really came into effect whenever Chet got drafted. You know, he had to sit out the whole year, so we had to experiment and kind of go back to what we learned on, what we leaned on a couple years before that. And here it is today, man. You know what I mean?
That's the secret sauce to Thunder small ball. They play hard, they scrap, they fight, they hustle, they compete.
And the scrappiness is just like flying around, man. It's like, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's like a bunch of animals, a bunch of hyenas, I guess, you know, running around and trying to scrap for food and find that prey. Being scrappy is a good thing.
And on top of it, they have a group of exceptionally versatile players with bendable skill sets.
Shout out Dub, he's been holding it down, you know, in the paint for us.
That's just a page torn right out of the Chet Holmgren shot blocking book.
At this point, it's kind of normal. You know, even when we did have our bigs around, we still had spurts where we were small. But, you know, these past few games, there have been longer spurts because we're going the whole game. But it's just a challenge that we take on.
Knocked away by Wallace inside. More defense by the Thunder.
That game against the Clippers, LA expectedly won on the boards by a considerable margin. But the Thunder took 11 more shot attempts, winning the turnover margin by a staggering 23-11, which led to advantages in points off turnovers and fast break points. You hear about the cost benefit of going small, of the trade-offs. That's what it looks like in action.
Caruso sidesteps to the cup.
And you saw it on the road in Portland early in the season, where Chet was in foul trouble in the third quarter and OKC went small, forcing 12 turnovers in the quarter, including 8 steals, with Lu Dort pulling 4 on his own.
The help defense comes over by Dort.
And the one on DeAndre Ayton was signature Dort.
There's Dort again.
Sizing up, out-muscling, out-hustling, out-working. And it made me wonder, what's his favorite steal?
It has to be the sack joint.
Yeah. When we played Sacramento a couple years ago, I got the steal on Fox.
Sacramento playing for the win. It's Dort picking the pocket of Fox. 3 on the timer. Dort steps in, lays it up and in.
When we won the game, that was kind of the game winner. And that was my mom's first game in OKC, which is the day I'll remember.
Fitting, because that play was the focus of the first path. And that's what it's all about. Moments that matter, stacked experiences, year over year, that build up to something bigger and reveal themselves later.
I think first it's like not taking the actual season for granted. Like a lot of little stuff you have during the season kind of builds up into the playoffs, and I think that's our biggest thing to harp on is creating those good habits now. So when we get into the playoffs, you know, we may have back against the wall moments, you know, it's not something new, and I think it's kind of the same thing with like the small ball mentality is when we do get our bigs back in the playoffs, if something does happen, we have experience playing the way we do.
As it has been for multiple years, small ball is another tool in the toolbox. Adaptability is a design feature, never a flaw. And even with traditional size returning, the ability to pivot to unconventional matchups is a weapon.
The complete level that all of our players have makes it successful. You know, we all getting after it and we all take on tough challenges. So it's nothing that is too big for us to take on.
When you compete, nothing is too big. Well said.